Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday, so I'm going to read some YouTube comments from last week's videos. It's going to be a good and exciting time. Last week was a short week though, because of the holiday, so I have less comments to read, but that means I have more time to spend on some of these comments. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and if you want to be in these videos, leave a comment. That way I know what you're thinking, and if it's a good one, like the ones on today's video, it might make it in. You never know. And of course, just like and comment and subscribe and all that fun stuff. That'll be great. I'd enjoy that very much. Start here with a YouTube member, the Casual Bang. Postage is 73 cents. The what is that word? Non-machinable surcharge? I don't know if that's what I tend to say. Is 46, which comes to 119 for shipping. Plus you have the PWE and the paper for packing slip and the ink and sleeves. So shipping at 127 USD. You are still losing capital. That is very interesting. So last week I posed the question on the Imperial video, why is all of a sudden does everything cost $1.27 for shipping? Like, where did that come from? This is a good answer. It makes sense. Also, it makes selling on TCG Player kind of not super worth it from the just the materials required to ship it out, which is unfortunate. You also need to include, I don't know, the top loader. Top loaders are not cheap, by the way, and you should be using a top loader. I've seen people ship things to me in these little freaking shipping shields. These are crap. And I've seen the worst because of COVID, where you have two people taking the two cardboard pieces and taping the card in them. That's terrible, and you should not do that. You should die if you ever think about doing that. I never want to see that ever again. But anyway, going back to this guy's point, that is correct. Seems like you're losing a little bit of money shipping on TCG Player, even if you charge $1.27, which seems to be kind of standard. Me being Canadian, I know nothing about that, so I was happy to learn something. So thank you, appreciate that. Royal Blue, also a YouTube member. I think the healthiest thing about our game is that most rare, super rare secrets come in multiple rarities, making the game more accessible to everyone, and if people want to spend the big money on the deck, the max rarity deck, you can. But then someone comments and says there's promos, which are a huge problem. So, you know, it is interesting from a sense that sometimes the most expensive card of your deck is not a secret rare, right? Sometimes it is a super rare, which is annoying. But sometimes it is a promo, and we still have very annoyingly priced promos. Like, you know, Morphomon for Eosmon is annoying for a tier 2, 3 fun deck. And you have things like Flamedramon, and you had things like Raremon and Leomon X. You know, all this stuff that's expensive from the promo category because of the way that they distribute promos. Someone mentioned this to me. I don't know if it was on a YouTube comment or in person. I don't know, but you know who you are. Someone mentioned they should do what they did in BT4 with the power-up packs, where you have the same 6 promos, but one, you get 2 cards per pack, one being a foil version of one of the 6 promos, and one being a non-foil version of one of the 6 promos. It would make the promos a lot more affordable, and it would cost Bandai very little to actually include an extra card in there, because it's very cheap to print cards like that in that sense. So, I don't know, maybe that's feedback Bandai could take, because someone was showing me their Magna X deck at the Niagara Falls Regional, and like 4 Flamedramon, 4 Magna X. That's still a pretty penny, right? That's almost $400 American right there for 8 cards. That's a bit of money, right? For not even a tier 1 deck. So that's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. Promos can suck sometimes, but if you're using a deck that doesn't use promos that are expensive, odds are you're actually pretty okay. Adam TCG, heck yeah, Niagara Falls is so frigging awesome. I worked there for 5 months and was some of the best times in my life. Hotbox the Ferris wheel, get a lady at the casino, hit North Lundy Lane to the Sundowner to finish off. That's a comment. I included that because I thought it was just funny to see. My Niagara Falls experience was never anywhere close to that, nor have I had a Niagara Falls experience close to that. But, you know, some people enjoy life in different ways, and if that's the way you want to do it, go crazy. I'm not going to stop you. Moving onwards, we have Juan Jesus Torres Salazado. If I butchered that, I apologize. Flamedramon is a bait. That card is not that great, I tell you. I I uh, I respectfully disagree. As well as anyone that plays Armor Rush, I think would disagree with you. I speak to people who are probably some of the better Armor Rush players in North America, and they say, yeah, you gotta play some Flamedramons, preferably 4. The only downside is it can't really go into your Magna X unless you have the one of Awakening or whatever. So it is annoying, but like the card just raids and adds security, like burn security. It's pretty decent, honestly. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Blue Flower 777. I won't be there at the regionals because I'm from Australia, but I do want to thank you for making these Market Watch videos very helpful and enjoyable. Well, you're welcome. I'm glad you find them useful. All the way in Australia. Wow. Johnny Stevens. If I hadn't already sold all my protoforms other than the Altards, I'd definitely do it now. It's getting reprinted twice. True. You should sell your protoforms while the hype is high. I definitely agree with this. You should definitely do that. Super Saiyan Dragon Slayer. Honestly, your take on the TK hit kind of just proved they made the correct decision. Taking away Emissary by having 4 TK kills the deck, but taking away TK made it no longer tier 1, but the deck can still be played. This is a good thing. Yellow Vaccine being so dominant was a problem, and they made it still good, but not tier 1. And even as a Magnamon player, Awakening was too abusable, and blue-based Magnamon is doing just fine regardless. I have a few points to this. Number 1, I don't care about Awakening. That card belongs at 1. I don't care about that. What I care about is the TK versus Emissary conversation. There are versions of Yellow Vaccine that do just fine that don't need 4 Awakening. Or, sorry, 4 Emissary. 4 TK is painful. Now, if you were to take the yellow HPD and put it from 4 to 1, I have differing opinions on this depending on the version of Yellow Vaccine that you play. Because it does matter. It really, 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 really does matter. I'll leave it with this note. Depending on how you play Yellow Vaccine will depend on how you answer this question. If you are playing 3 Great Angels, you're chilling. If you're playing Yellow Armor Magna X Turbo Vaccine, you're not chilling. You are probably crying. If you're playing Rapid X Turbo, honestly, you're fine. You're probably fine. If you're playing my special variant of Marcus Vaccine, the one that I topped the regional with, 4 Emissaries does kick you in the nuts. It really does if that card was at 1, but you also want TK. So either way, you're losing out. So I think the answer just depends. Me being a yellow connoisseur, do not forget that my opinion is always correct, and you should just listen to me. Though in probably like 2 weeks when we get EX7 anyway, things will change a little bit, I'm sure. But for now, it is what it is. I do believe, though, serious talk, there is a huge variance of subjectivity to this. And it just depends on what flavor of chips you want to nosh on in terms of Yellow Vaccine. Next, the Casual Bang, a YouTube member. Lols Mario pulling a Pooh Bear on his comment video. Hopefully he got some honey after recording this vid. I don't know what he's talking about, but I do know how Winnie the Pooh is. And honey is good for you. You know, it's got some healthy components. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Drake, I don't understand your take on fix the game because it is solitaire. How can a ban list fix this? I think that the only way to fix it is create new cards that let you play with the opponent more. This is a thing that Bandai is starting to do in newer sets. I have 2 responses to this. Number 1, you can fix it by eliminating all of the cards that promote solitaire gameplay. I'm a big yellow component, but I know that Venusmon is one of the most toxic cards in the game. That should go away. Other similar cards that just say you can't play, like Mirage Galgamon, like Quartzmon, they should all go. And now I know that someone in the comments section, like this Drake guy, might say, well, okay, well, why don't you just ban the whole half the freaking card pool then in that case? And that's not the point. The point is you want to have a more interactive game state in the sense that you want to be able to play cards that won't be stopped by your opponent playing other cards that stop you. Like, when you evolve Venusmon, if you're playing a deck that has a whole plethora of when Digivolving effects, well, Venusmon just fucked you in the ass for a turn. You can't interact with that no matter what hand traps you have. Or let's say that um, you have Mirage Galgamon on the board, choke your opponent to 1, and they have a promo Ukomon in the back. Not promo Ukomon, the BT16 Ukomon. Choked at 1, and they have multiple cards in hand. Well, if they promote that, they have to search. If they add a card, it soft locks their turn and brings it right back over to you. Those kind of interactions should not exist. These are things that in a healthy world just shouldn't exist. Period. So that kind of stuff should go. And the second point is that introducing more interactability is dangerous, slippery slope. Because right now the hand traps we have, for the most part, are okay. Most part. They either range from bad to really good. The really good ones are the ones that scare me. But it's the slippery slope because power creep only progresses in one direction. That is direction of forward. And as I keep saying, as hand traps get more and more dangerous, we're going to start getting some real fucking... What's the word I want to use? I don't know what word I want to use. Some absolutely derogatory and inflammatory hand traps that basically fuck you in the mouth, tell you thank you, have a nice day, and knock your deck on the floor. And those are the things we want to avoid. But that's not the direction we're going. So I hope that kind of answers that. If they just went in a direction where they hit a lot of the cards that say your opponent can't play the game, that's all that would matter. Because, you know, when I'm playing Digimon, I actually want to play Digimon. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but I can't play Digimon if my opponent Venusmons me. I can't play Digimon if, you know, someone Ancient Graves me for 5 security and then puts on me for game. And the reverse is true too. The number of games I've won from doing either of those things is way too many for a healthy card game. That stuff didn't exist at BT 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 7, I think, is where it kind of got crazy. But that's really how it goes. So I hope that makes sense. I forgot EX1. Icewall happened. Okay, whatever. You get my point, though, right? Early Digimon, you could play the game. Later Digimon now, you're lucky if you have to play a game. And that's a huge difference. One Day of Peace. Eosmon enjoyers rise up. Yes, I will give Eosmon the tier 3 credit it deserves, but not a tier higher. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Next is Rycaria. I started selling, shipping my Rapid X tomorrow. I'll have almost 40 euros on my card market account after that sale. Still have quite a few things to sell, including some decent hits. You know, I'm glad that the people in, like, not United States or Canada find use of my card market watches, because, like, I don't really offer the European prices or whatever. But I'm glad that you guys can, you know, take my information and run with it. It is really cool. It is interesting. Last comment of the day goes to Dizzy Loops. No matter how many Market Watch videos I watch, I'm still stuck with hoarder mentality. Stares at 2 Venusmon Altarts sitting on the desk. And then I sit there watching the prices plummet after missing the boat. You and me both. Absolutely. I've made some really dumb decisions in my life in terms of Digimon. I am good at making money when it comes to my card shop. Like, anything that is part of the card shop, I'm very diligent about, and I do very well. But if I have personal cards I want to get rid of, odds are I'm selling them for way less than I paid for them, because I just don't want them anymore or whatever. And it is hoarding mentality, because I don't want to get rid of the cards, right? But eventually, when I decide, yeah, fuck it, you know, whatever, get rid of them, usually it's at a loss, because by that time, the cards aren't worth that much anymore because they're less good, blah, 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 you know, all that stuff. So I relate to you on a level, Dizzy Loops. I hear you. That'll be it for today, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye!